For today's lesson, we're going to take a look at laws of exponents. This is SOL A.2a. So we previously did an investigation to look at the different laws or the different rules that go along with exponents. Today we're going to do a little review of those rules and then also apply them to simplifying expressions. All right, so SOL A.2a, the student will perform operations on polynomials, including applying the laws of exponents to perform operations on expressions. So the learning target, I can simplify monomial expressions in which the exponents are integers using the laws of exponents. I can simplify ratios of monomial expressions in which the exponents are integers using the laws of exponents. All right, so to start us off, we're going to review here. Let me make this just a little bit bigger. All right, so these are the properties or laws of exponents. So we have the product of powers, we have the quotient of powers, we have power of a power, power of product, power of a quotient, negative exponents, and zero exponent. All right, so with the product of powers as a review, so we have x to the a times x to the b. So anytime you are multiplying like bases, you're going to add your exponents. So I have a plus b. So here I have a base of c. So I am adding 3 and 5 to give me c to the 8th. All right. With the quotient of powers, and I know this is kind of small, so I'm going to rewrite it. I have x to the power of a over x to the power of b. Anytime I'm dividing like bases, I'm going to subtract my exponents. So I have x to the a minus b. So here I have x to the 5th divided by x to the 3rd. So I have x to the 5 minus 3, which gives me x squared. All right, power of a power. So anytime I raise a power to another power, so I have x to the a raised to the power of b. So that means I'm going to multiply. All right, so this is a 2. I don't know how it got cut off there. So I have p cubed raised to the power of 2. So I have p raised to the 3 times 2, which gives me p to the 6th. All right. So here we have power of a product. So anytime we are taking a product and we're raising it to a power, my exponents get multiplied. So here, my x and y both have an exponent of 1. So multiplying them by a, I get x to the a and y to the a. Same as over here, I have a base of 3 and a base of 4, which technically we should have went ahead and used variables. So I'm actually going to cross that out there, and I'm going to put x times y and raise it to the power of 2. So that gives me x squared times y squared. That's a better example. All right. Now we have power of a quotient. All right, so same thing here, and this is a little small, so I'm going to rewrite it. So I have x divided by y raised to the power of a. So that's going to give me x to the power of a and y to the power of a. Same thing with a divided by b raised to the power of 3. I have a to the power of 3 and b to the power of 3. All right, so with negative exponents, all right, so we have x to the negative a, all right. So when we have our final simplified answer, we never want to leave negative exponents. So for this example, I have x to the negative a. Since it's in my numerator, I'm going to drop it down to my denominator, and I get x to the a. So it'll be the same thing over here as w to the negative 3. I'm going to drop it to my denominator and make it w3 or w cubed or 1 over w cubed, excuse me. All right, the same thing would happen if I were to have x to the negative 2 in my denominator. I bring it to my numerator. So if it's a negative exponent in your denominator, it goes to the numerator. If there's a negative exponent in your numerator, it drops to your denominator. And then, of course, zero exponent. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So looking here on the SOL or any assessment, this is a very popular question where they give you this expression that you have a lot of exponents and bases, and they'll raise it to the power of 0, which will just give you 1. All right, so let's get into some practice. All right, so looking at number 1, I have x squared times x cubed times x to the 4th. So we all have like bases, so we know our base is x. All right, anytime we're multiplying like bases, we add our exponents. So I have x plus 2, x to the power of 2 plus 3 plus 4. 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9. So we get x to the 9th. All right. Looking at number 2, we have 4x squared y all raised to the power of 3. All right. So this is product of a power of a product. So looking here, everything in my parentheses is going to be raised to the power of 3. So I have 4 raised to the power of 3. I have x squared raised to the power of 3. And I have y raised to the power of 3. All right. All right, so we know that 4 cubed is going to give me 64 because that's 4 times 4 times 4. Here I have x squared being raised to the power of 3, so I'm going to multiply those exponents to give me 6. And here we can see that y has an exponent of 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So I get 64 x to the 6th y cubed. All right. Same thing here for number 3. Right? So I have negative 2w, and that's all being raised to the power of 2. So I have negative 2 being raised to the power of 2, and w being raised to the power of 2. Negative 2 squared gives me 4. Remember, w has an exponent of 1, so 1 times 2 gives me 2. So I get 4w squared. All right. So number 4, we have some pieces going on here. So we have negative r times s being multiplied by rs cubed, all raised to the power of 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is tackle this portion here. So my negative rs is going to stay the same. Here, everything in my parentheses is being raised to the power of 2. So r has an exponent of 1. 2 times 1 gives me 2, so I have r squared. And then s raised to the power of 3. 3 times 2 gives me 6. So I have x to the power of 6. But I'm not done here because now I have to multiply. So I have r. What happens when I multiply like bases? I add the exponent. This r here has an exponent of 1. So I have negative 1. So that's going to stay negative. I have my r. 1 plus 2 is going to give me 3. My s also has an exponent of 1, so I'm going to have s to the 7th. All right, so please, please, please do not panic if you feel like, whoa, what is going on here? Again, we're going to have more practice, but it just takes remembering those laws and applying them. So please, please, please do not panic. All right. Now let's take a look here and look at some quotients. So we've looked at raising a power to another power, like bases, so on and so forth. Now let's look at when we're looking at division. All right. So for example, for number 5, I'm going to actually rewrite number 5. All right. So I have 12x to the 8, y to the 5th, all over negative 4x squared, y 3. All right. So remember, anytime you are dividing like bases, you are going to subtract your exponents. So subtracting only goes along with exponents. So looking here, I have coefficients of 12 and negative 4. Since that is a quotient, I'm going to divide them. So I have 12 divided by negative 4, which gives me a negative 3. All right. I have x to the 8th divided by x to the 2nd. Remember, I'm subtracting those, so I have 8 minus 2, which is going to give me x to the 6th. And then I have y to the 5th divided by y cubed. I have 5 minus 3, which is going to give me y squared. All right. Now let's look at number 6. All right. So I have 5x y to the 5th divided by 15 x cubed y to the 8th. All right. So I have 5 as my coefficient in my numerator and 15 as my coefficient in my denominator. So looking here, I know that 15 and 5 are both divisible by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. All right. So I have x to the power of 1 and x to the power of 3. So that's 1 minus 3, which gives me a negative 2. And then I have y fifth over y to the 8th. And we have 5 minus 8, which gives me y to the negative 3. Thinking about it here in my final answer, I cannot have negative exponents. So since my exponents are in the numerator, I have to drop them to my denominator. All right, so I have 1 over 3x squared y cubed. All right, and that's all because, again, 5 divided by 5 is 1, so I left 1 in my numerator. Then also we had to take x to the negative 2 and y to the negative 3 and drop them to my denominator because I cannot leave negative exponents in my final answer. All right, so now what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and I want you to work on number 7 and number 8. All right, applying the laws of exponents, I want you to work on those two. All right, so let's look here. All right, starting with our coefficients, we have 36 divided by 9, which is 4. All right, we have a to the 8th and a to the negative 7. So we have to be careful here because we have 8 minus a negative 7. And what happens when we subtract a negative? That becomes plus. So we have a to the 15th. So we have 4a to the 15th. So we have to be very careful when we're working with those negative numbers. All right, number 8, we have 3x to the negative 2, y to the negative 4, z5. So as we can see here, we have all different bases. We have 3, we have a base of x, a base of y, and a base of z. So the only thing we can do here is, remember, in our simplified and final answer, we cannot have any negative exponents. All right, so my 3 is going to remain in my numerator, and my z, I have to put my line through my z's, they look like 2's, to the 5th stays in my numerator, but here I have x to the negative 2 and y to the negative 4, so they are going to drop to my denominator so that I don't have any negative exponents in my final answer. All right. All right, so again here, all right, so sometimes when we look at the laws of exponents, we'll just be applying one law. Like, for example, in the previous ones we've seen, we've used quotient or negative exponents or 0, so on and so forth. Sometimes we have to apply multiples, all right? So let's look at number 9 here. All right, so number 9, again, we can see we have a quotient. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at my coefficients. I have 20 and I have 15. Both are divisible by 5. 20 divided by 5 gives me 4. So I have a 4 in my numerator. And then 15 divided by 5 is 3. So I have a 3 in my denominator. All right, so let's take a look here. So we do not have a base of a in my numerator, but I have a base of a in my denominator. But you see, a has an exponent of negative 2. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and move that up to my numerator because we can't leave any negative exponents there. All right, I have b squared and I have b to the 7th. So I have b2 minus 7, which gives me b to the negative 5th. All right. So since, again, we're going to move that up to my numerator, and then we have c negative 4 minus negative 3. That becomes plus. So we have negative 4 plus 3, which gives me c to the negative 3, which is going to drop my c to my denominator. All right, so let me break that down just a little bit more. All right, so we can see here, just to make sure we have a clear understanding, I'm just going to bubble around this. All right, my 4 and my 3, All right, there's a reason why they stay there. Again, 20 divided by 5 is 4, 15 divided by 5 is 3. But let's take a look here at A. So if we leave A in my numerator, all right, we have B squared minus B7, which we saw was B5. That means I would have a negative 5 here. All right, and then we have negative 4 minus 3, minus a negative 3, which becomes negative 4 plus 3, which would give me a negative 1 in my numerator. All right, so you can see here I have all these negative exponents and I cannot leave them. So I have to flip-flop. So my 4 is going to stay in my numerator. My 3 is going to stay in my denominator. But my a squared now goes to my numerator. My b to the 5th goes to my numerator. And my c to the negative 1 goes to my denominator. So just in case I did a little too much flip-flopping without any explanation, I wanted you to understand how we put the exponents or the bases where they needed to go. All right. Now let's look at number 10. All right. So again, number 10 is one of those where we have to look at those pieces. All right. So I want you to pause the video and try to see if you can do number 10 on your own. All right, so looking here, there are a couple things that you can do. You can go ahead and you can multiply each of your exponents by the negative 1, or you can look at what's in parentheses first. I always like to look in what's in parentheses and then work my way outside. Either way works. All right, so I have a base of a base of a in my numerator and denominator. In my numerator, I have a to the 4th and a to the negative 4. So again, since I'm dividing, I subtract my exponents. So I have a to the 4 minus a negative 4. That becomes plus. So I have a to the 8th. And then just doing a little bit of scratch work. So we're going to do a to the 8th. And then we have b3 minus negative 2. That becomes b to the 5th. But we also cannot forget about the fact that we're raising it to the power of negative 1. So we have negative 1 times 8, which gives us negative 8, and negative 1 times 5, which gives us negative 5. Since both of these bases are in my numerator and have a negative exponent, we have to drop them down to my denominator. And we have a to the 8th, b5. All right. Now I put this challenge problem here. You are more than welcome to try to tackle it. If you like, I can go ahead and post the answer for it on Google Classroom once it's over with. But I just wanted to put this here again. You're using those same laws. So using power of power, power of a quotient, raising a power to another power. All right. Before you end this video, I want you to go ahead and summarize what you've learned from today's lesson.